Hello, writers. Come right with me. My name is Michaela Greenwood. I create worlds for mind adventures. Welcome to my channel, Write with Michaela. I'm very excited to have you on my channel, so don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you can go on this journey with me. Today is story time, or the day of our chapter exchange. So, send your chapters. Give me a chapter. Give me the exchange here. I'm reading a chapter to you today. There's the exchange. If you're writing with me and you wish to exchange chapters, then send your chapter with written permission to writewithmichaela@gmail.com. I will post the email address at the end of the video and in the description below. Just press the little 3 dots and then the more. And it used to be just the more, but now they put the 3 dots and then you get this box and you press the more. So it's down there. Just press all those little buttons and get to it. I look forward to reading your chapters. All chapters or writing prompts read on the channel, or they are mine or another writer's work, are copyright protected material, and no one may use any part in writing their own stories. This story is PG-13, so if you're under 13 years of age, you need parental guidance. This story is in its rough draft stage, just as the last stories and writing prompts we've heard. The title of this story is Elementals, and today we are reading chapter 12. If you would like to... Hang on. Are we supposed to be doing chapter 12 today? One moment. Pardon me. I'm trying to make sure that we're not supposed to be doing 11. I don't remember reading 11. Okay. Yep. We're okay. So let me go back. Sorry about that. This is chapter 12. If you would like to read along, then send to the email I stated earlier. Request a PDF of the chapter. Make sure you are specific. Chapter 12 does not cut it. Season 5, Storytime, chapter 12 would cut it. Elementals, chapter 12 would cut it. So if you just say chapter 12, I may send you chapter 12 of City of the Ancients. Okay? So now let's start. Elementals, chapter 12, Blending In. Skysea, exclaimed a voice. What are you doing here? And Stelnor jumped up and quickly looked around. Then she saw her sister rushing to her. Your protection doesn't go as far as it used to go, stated Aunt Stelnor. No, the land is losing magic, replied Starlim, the Green Witch. It takes a lot more than it did before, and it takes more to recharge. Starlim took a hold of Aunt Stelnor's arm and helped her up the incline. Soon they were to a door in the mountain face that looked like a mountain wall and not a door. Once they were inside, Starlim wanted to know what was going on, and they exchanged news. Michaels had been walking past the stable when a horse started bucking and broke loose. He helped get the horse under control. The owner thanked him profusely. Then Michaels saw that the stable was in disrepair, so he offered his services, and the owner agreed. The owner told him that he lost his stable hand a few weeks ago, and he was having difficulty doing everything himself. Now the sun was going down, and Michaels was putting the tools away. The owner came in and handed him some cash. You're welcome to sleep in the loft, he said as he motioned. I don't know what your plans are, but I'm hoping you will stay and help at least tomorrow. My cousin's son should arrive in a few days, but... Michael smiled at the man and thanked him. He said he would consider staying tomorrow to help. Then a young girl came in the stable and handed the owner a plate of food, and the owner handed it to him. I know we didn't feed you lunch, but hopefully this double serving will make up for that. Michaels took the plate. I'm sure it will. He sat down in the hay and started eating as the owner and the young girl left. Michaels wasn't sure how to help Alex, but now they had some local money. That always helped things. He put the money in a hidden inside pocket as he laughed to himself. This world was so strange that he hoped the money didn't disappear. He wished there was some way to call or text Alex, but he couldn't do that. He laughed again at the thought of his cell phone pinging on a cell tower in this land, if they had cell towers, which he doubted. They did, but they would automatically notice the strange ping. Michael shook his head and started eating. He started thinking about the first time he met Alex, and all the interactions they had since then. Alex was always professional and serious on the job. Michaels laughed to himself as he remembered Alex swinging the wand and saying, Wingardium Leviosa. And just before that, he saw indignant anger with her asking for the stick. Alex always shared everything. She was not persnickety. She was reliable in the field. The anger, or perhaps fear, had surprised him. But then her causing Sarge to float around in the air was beyond comprehension at the time. That night, he wondered if the Alex he knew, was just a mask, and he was seeing the real Alex for the first time. But once he saw the gnome, he questioned that theory. This was a different world. Michaels knew he could handle things, but now he worried about Alex. She was a good cop, a good detective, but would that be enough in this land? Then Michaels thought perhaps he had started questioning things when Chet, the horse, turned into Calvort, a human, a long, lanky human, a gangly youth, and Alex had said the spell. He felt he questioned things, but he was still in unbelief at the moment. Michaels briefly wondered if Sarge made it to whatever portal. He set his plate to the side and stretched out in the hay, with his hands behind his head. He would soon be asleep. Alex found what she thought was a hotel, as it seemed that people were entering with suitcases, so she entered behind a family. Things happened as she expected, and they ordered a room and a wake-up knock. Alex heard the price and decided that she wanted to order the same thing, but she didn't need a knock. The person behind the desk looked at her strangely and said, but you have no luggage. Bandits attacked us and stole our horses, stated Alex. She shook her head. I hope to find someone from my group, but so far no luck. The bandits are getting bad, stated the lady. Do you need a job in the morning to pay for your room? Started Alex. She started to slip a few bills out of her pouch, and without looking at their denominations. If this isn't enough, oh, that's plenty. You could stay a whole week. You want change now, in the morning, or the last day of your stay? I guess in the morning will be fine, replied Alex. I hope to find my group. Do you care to divulge any names? Asked the lady. No, said Alex as she shook her head. I mean, they may not have made it here. No worries, said the lady, and then she motioned Alex on to the bellboy. Alex started to follow. Oh, ma'am, started the lady. Alex turned back. She saw the lady flipping through the few bills. The lady looked up and asked, Do you want meals, too? Alex thought a minute. I ate a little from some of the shops, but I'm still hungry. Supper tonight and breakfast in the morning, confirmed the lady. Special diet, or shall I choose? You choose, stated Alex. Then she immediately thought of the poison, but then she decided to do some of the tests that she read about. Thankfully, she didn't have a strict diet. She knew some officers and other detectives that did. One was gluten intolerant, another was vegetarian or vegan. She didn't really know the difference. Another was a pescatarian. She also didn't know what foods were available here in this world or in this city. Alex followed the bellboy. She didn't know what people in this world called such a person, and she didn't want to use the wrong word. After she settled in, there was a knock on the door, and the bellboy was back with a tray. Alex took the tray, and then the bellboy handed her some flyers. Miss Albee said you would like to know the shops she recommends for some extra clothes, he said as he handed over the flyers. Alex took them. Oh, thank you. The bellboy pointed to the one on top. This one is run by her sister, but it is top. Thank you, repeated Alex. She realized that he spoke like she would, and that helped her to relax. She closed the door and sat with her tray. Her room was quiet, a bit larger than she expected, but that was probably because of the cash. She didn't know pricing from just the one quote, but felt the receptionist had provided her with what she could afford. She might need to be a little bit more careful and not spend so much on a hotel next time. Alex lifted the lid on the covered tray and saw what looked like a chicken leg quarter, something that looked like sausage, and some grilled vegetables. She knew someone had grilled them because they had the grill marks. She picked up the sausage and smelled it. It smelled like sausage. Of course, she didn't know what kind of meat. She had seen a rabbit and a deer and a horse, but that didn't mean this city had cows or pigs. Still, Alex was very hungry. She did do some tests and didn't discover any poison, so she ate, and she didn't think her test didn't work. As she ate, she wondered where Michaels was, and if Sarge made it to the portal. She hoped Sarge had, because she somehow knew that the spell on his clothes was no longer working. She had tried to recast the spell as she and Michaels entered the city, but the spell didn't seem to be working any longer. So it could be any number of things, like distance, or he had gone through the portal, or something she didn't know. At least she and Michaels had their magically changed clothes. Also, it seemed scary that a portal was just sitting in the woods, but so was popping from one reality to another without a portal. Alex still didn't know what caused her to pop back and forth, but if she went home, she wasn't touching the stick again. And then she thought that, well, she might, if she accidentally left Michaels here, she would have to come back for him, because they were partners on this undercover mission. But also her job back home just wouldn't be the same without him. She thought about this mission. They were both undercover. Sometimes it was easier to do reconnaissance alone, and sometimes together. But then there was usually a time to debrief. She didn't know where or how to find him so they could debrief. She thought of the water wells and decided, absolutely not. Who knew how many could listen in? It made her think of the party line her Aunt May and Uncle William had in the country. The water wells had to be the same thing. She ate her fill and climbed in the big, comfortable bed. It looked like she had a private bath, so she would clean up in the morning and then look through the flyers. She reminded herself to look for the signs that she had read about, because that would be nice if she saw one on a flyer. And then she could just ask the receptionist where whatever shop was. Sarge sat to a small breakfast table in his home. His wife hadn't pressed him for answers last night, and she had helped the gnomes find a place to sleep in their home. Some were in the guest room, some were on the pull-out couch, and some were on a blow-up mattress. His wife walked in the kitchen, and he indicated for her to sit down. He told her how he planned on telling her it had been a dream. But now the gnomes were here, so he told her everything he knew. After he finished, there was silence. A few minutes slipped by, and he asked, "Do you believe any of this?" His wife smiled a warm smile. "I wouldn't have believed any of it, but you have the gnomes. I don't know that I would have believed a dream, But of course, I didn't hear that version. She shook her head and walked around the table to refill her coffee. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to get the gnomes back home, replied Sarge. I mean, in a way, I feel like I didn't make it back to the correct reality. His wife turned and faced him. You are in the correct reality. You are my husband. I've met Alex and Michael. Don't worry. You usually figure things out. This time will be no different. Do you have any clues? Ikani walked in. We could go to Aunt Stelnar's home. Sarge looked at Ikani. Yes, we could do that. Or we could go to that warehouse. His wife didn't ask which warehouse. She just turned to make breakfast. Sarge brought Ikani to the warehouse, and he met Lieutenant Devers and Stellers there. As the four of them walked in, there were several faces with looks of shock, and they glanced around. After Sarge spoke to them, he learned that they had planned on not reporting the incident, but they showed him the video footage. Lieutenant Devers and Stellers didn't know what they were looking for, but as the footage showed the motion lights come on, Ikani pointed and said, He got his glimpse, but it late. Why it take so long to get his glimpse? No one answered Ikani. Sarge wanted Ikani to go to the area to see if he could set up a portal to return home. Ikani inspected the area and sadly shook his head. I have only one talisman. I need 6. Sarge thanked the people at the warehouse and told them he might return. Then he told Lieutenant Devers and Stellers that they were going to Aunt Stelnar's house. They arrived at Aunt Stelnar's house and all was quiet. Ikani was able to use his magic to get them inside. They found several books laying open on the formal dining room table. Sarge decided to place bookmarks in the books and bring them to the station. They would contact the local medium to see if she could discern anything useful. Once it was dark, Track Ant and the two with him felt a little better, and they flew on. But they stopped frequently because none of them wanted to get sick again. They stopped a final time just at the edge of the woods, and the owl swooped down on a branch near them. As he did, he dropped a package to the ground. The owl told them that they had made good progress, but they would want to be on the ground and close to the city by dawn. He told them to enter the city at dawn, or at least by mid-morning, and try to blend in. The owl flew off. The three weren't sure, but they mounted their brooms and let their brooms float down to the ground. They decided to disassemble the brooms so no one would see them. When they got to the ground and found the package, there were 3 sets of clothes inside, so they each changed into the clothes that fit him. Then they pushed their prison clothes under a bush and hoped that was good enough. They lay on the ground with pine needles and pine cones and tried to go to sleep for the little night they had left. Just before dawn, Track Ant heard a growl. So far they hadn't met any wildlife, and there wasn't enough light to see well enough to discern what made the growl. Then Track Ant saw a dark shape leap towards one of the other 2 with their new clothes. With their new clothes, there had been 3 knives, and that was all Track Ant had, except the wand, of course. He quickly took his out and lunged toward what he thought was a wolf. He didn't know if it was a real wolf or a person from the enemy in that form, and for now he didn't think about it. The wolf had attacked Donzer, and Donzer was using all his strength to keep the wolf at bay. He had awoken in time to push against the neck of the wolf, but the wolf swung his head erratically, and Donzer lost his grip. Then the wolf swirled around. Track Ant tried to slow his breathing. His knife had hit the wolf, but not done a lot of damage, and the wolf was now facing him and crouching, ready to leap. Track Ant moved to the side a little, and the wolf tracked his movements. But Track Ant heard another low growl. He glanced to the side and saw another dark shape, or 2. Shit, he thought. But the wolf facing him had jumped at him. Track Ant brought his arms close to his body. Somewhere in the back of his mind, he remembered that it was better to let a dog bite your arms than to get your soft innards. The new maneuver helped him because The wolf lunged into the knife blade and jerked back. Excuse me. Now the wolves were snarling. Sylvain dashed to track Ant when the wolf jumped back and yelped, and the two stood back to back. Dosner still hadn't pulled his knife, and one wolf was circling him. Trackant and Sylvain circled and moved towards Dosner. Dosner freed his knife, and in time, he slashed at the wolf attacking him and managed to swipe across the wolf's face and through the eye. The wolf paused a second, and that was enough for Dosner to join the other two. Trackant told them to let the wolves get their arms and not their innards, because he didn't know how to sew anything. They understood. Their knives were long for what they would carry in their world, but they were way too short for a battle with a wolf. The three continued turning in a circle and watching the wolves. The largest of the three wolves dove in and attacked Trackant in the ankle. Trackant fell, and the wolf was on him. The other two wolves each attacked as well. Trackant's left arm had helped break his fall, and it didn't protect his body. The wolf lunged towards his chest, and Trackant grabbed the wolf's ear and pulled as hard as he could, while he took the knife and plunged it in the wolf's throat. The wolf collapsed on him. It took Trackant a few minutes to roll the large wolf off him. He knew he was bleeding, but he didn't think any injury was too bad. He stood up and turned to face the other two wolves, and he saw Sylvain spring on the back of the wolf attacking Dosner. Trackant saw Sylvain's knife hit its mark, but the wolf that had circled Sylvain was now leaping onto Sylvain. Trackant wasn't sure he could tackle a wolf in the same manner as he had seen Sylvain do, but he had to try. He dove at the wolf and knocked it off, only he lost his grip on his knife and it fell to the ground. Trackant wrapped his arms and legs around the wildly squirming wolf. He wanted to stay against the back and not let the wolf's teeth swirl around to him. "Hold still," called Dosner. "What the F do you think I'm trying to do?" called Trackant. "Choke it," called Sylvain. Trackant was not letting go of any part of the wolf to try to grab the wolf's throat. Then he felt the blade scrape his arm, and he winced in pain, but Dosner's blade hit the neck, and the wolf's body went limp. Trackant pushed the wolf off of him. They couldn't really examine injuries in the dark. He stood up before Dosner, and both looked at each other. Dosner wanted to apologize, but Trackant put a hand on his shoulder. "Next time, don't take so long," he said. Dosner nodded. They sat down and did their best to look at injuries until Dosner remembered a word the owl had said. He used this one, and a small light emitted from the tip. The wolves had ripped their new clothes, and the three men took straying pieces to tie up their wounds. None of them thought they could sleep, especially now since the event had shaken them all. Trackant said, "I hope those were just wolves and not enemies, but I don't think wolves attack like that unless they have rabies or something." They sat in silence and thought about it. Then Dosner said he had worked the night shift, so he would stay up and take the first watch. The other two agreed. A knock on the door startled Alex awake. She sat up and looked around. She didn't see a clock. The sunshine was coming in her windows. She went to the door because she still had on her clothes, and she found the bellboy with another tray. He told her that he could take the tray she had last night if she was finished with it. Alex took the new tray and motioned him to the old tray. He scooped it up quickly and headed out. Alex felt he had been nervous, so perhaps she should hand the tray out to him next time. She sat to eat. When she uncovered the tray, she was amazed. She had pancakes and eggs and bacon and an orange sliced up. She had water and a little kettle of something. She smelled the pot. It smelled like coffee to her, so she poured a cup and tasted it. It didn't taste like coffee. It didn't quite taste like coffee, but that was when she remembered to test the food. Everything seemed fine, but of course she may not be doing the test correctly. She ate leisurely and then looked through the flyers. Sicey and Starlam were at breakfast when Starlam jerked her head up. "Who could that be?" she asked. Sicey, or Aunt Stilnar, shrugged her shoulders. "I'll be back," stated Starlam. After a short while, Starlam came back with a small group of gnomes, and they were all talking at once. And Stelnar didn't understand them because they were speaking gnomish and speaking very fast. Starlam smiled and motioned them to the chairs around the table. She introduced her sister to them and let them know that her sister had told her some of those things. After they ate, the gnomes headed back to their village, and Starlam and Aunt Stelnar discussed what to do. Knowing that Alex took the page of herself out of the gnome's book, told them that Alex was already putting things together, but it would still take her time to get to Sisisnar. Sisisnar was very close to the two green witches, and they thought maybe they should go there. But Aunt Stelnar thought Alex was smart, and Mike could figure some things out, especially in Sisisnar, where there were so many allies. And Stelnar hoped Alex could start the shield for Sisisnar on their own. Starlam, the green witch, reminded her sister, Skysea, that it would take 2 people to activate the shield. They discussed things for over an hour and knew that once Alex started the shield, then that would alert the High Lord, and it would be harder to get to the other shields to start them. Finally, they decided that they needed to trust Alex to figure out to go to Sisisnar and find her way there, and that they should go to Cashram. Starlam was a green witch and belonged to Sisisnar, and she told her sister that she had been hiding and waiting for Alexandria to come. She really missed her city. And Stelnar knew those things, and she understood. But they needed all 5 shields, and if they could get 2 turned on closer and together in time, then that would be better. Starlam packed and closed down her place. They would head northeast to get out of the leg of the star, past the land between the unstable mountains, and then more north. They would pass through Tanglvoth and see if they could gather any more information. Then they would head northeast to Cashram. Cashram was very close to the High Lord's fortress, so it would be important to get that shield started. There had been some discussion of what if the elementals were dead, but they decided that they didn't want to think about it. Most of their trip would be by broom, but they would stop away from the cities and walk into and out of Tanglvoth before they flew on to Cashram. And it says, okay, I'm in the right chapter, but this is chapter 11. I am reading chapter 11. That thing up there said 12. It should have said 11. So I didn't totally lose my mind there. I read it and I was like, that's not right. But okay, now I'm reading that we just read chapter 11. So let me fix this up here. I don't know why I'm fixing things. But anyway, that's fixed. Okay. We were reading chapter 11. That's the end of chapter 11. So, leave a comment on if you've seen Disney's Beauty and the Beast and the scene where the wolves go to attack Belle. Or any other show or movie, with such a scene. Of course, I did a research paper at one point on wolves, and wolves are very shy and they don't attack, but they have the reputation of attacking. So, Tricant was thinking they don't attack unless they have rabies or whatever. So, putting that aside, if you've ever seen a show where the wolves attack, or you've read a book with such a scene, then leave that comment. Also, comment if you knew to keep your arms close to your sides when a wolf or dog attacks. Now, leave a comment on if you would trust the food that Alex is receiving to eat it. And leave a comment on what you eat for breakfast. She had quite a big breakfast. Leave a comment from the twins' perspective on if you think they made the right decision to head to Cash Room and not to Alex. So, what do they know about Alex? They know that she was with the gnomes. They know that she got her glimpse because Ikani told Stilnar she came, she got her glimpse, she left. They don't know which way she went. They don't know that at all. She got her glimpse, she left, but she took the page. The gnomes are telling she took the page. So from their perspective, that's what they know. Do you think they made the right decision to head to Cash Room? We know Alex is in Sisisnar. So we're probably thinking, oh yeah, that's the right thing to do. But they don't. So did they make the right decision from their perspective? And not to head to Alex or Sisisnar. As readers, like I said, we know at least that Michaels could potentially help Alex turn on the shield. So we know, oh yeah, that's fine, that's fine. Just go the other way, go to the other one, let's get another shield. As readers, that's what we know. So that's not the comment I want. I want you to leave a comment from the twins' perspective. And if you think they made the right decision to head to Cash Room and not to Alex or Sisisnar. Join me Tuesday for some jargon and a story with a setting. Join me Join me Wednesday for a book club discussion of 1984. Join me Friday for Chapter 12 of Elementals, the real Chapter 12 of Elementals. Visit my website by McKella, read some character bios. If you read some, leave a comment on which ones you've read. All your comments will help us start conversations and build our communities. Keep all comments respectful. Remember, somebody else's perspective can help you with your writing. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell so we can continue this journey together, and other people will have a higher chance finding this video and this channel, since your likes will push the video out to a greater audience. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate your participation. If you know someone who would like this video, please share it with them. This is McKella with Write with McKella. Bye for now.